Your entire marriage to the sociopath was not normal. So please don't expect your divorce to be normal. I'm Donna Andersen, author of Lovefraud.com, and today I'm going to explain 10 lessons on divorcing a sociopath that I learned the hard way. Forewarned is forearmed. Okay, let's get started. Throughout my marriage to the sociopath, James Montgomery, I was confused. He kept telling me that he loved me, but he went through all my money, put me into debt, and then didn't care that I was upset about it. What kind of marriage was that? When I finally discovered that Montgomery was cheating on me, in fact, he had a child with another woman during our marriage, believe it or not, my first reaction was relief. I had taken my marriage vow seriously. He did not. Now I could leave. I wanted this man out of my life as soon as possible, which meant I needed a divorce. Here's what I learned about divorcing a sociopath. I hope these 10 observations will help you. Number 1, when divorcing a sociopath, you need a good attorney. The first attorney I consulted, who was suggested by a friend, was awful. I told him all about Montgomery taking my money, showed him photos that I found of my husband with another woman's child, and he pretty much didn't care. I then used connections to get a better referral and found a terrific lawyer. She was smart, diligent, and willing to stand up for me. It made all the difference in the world. Here's number 2. The sociopath will get his or her day in court. When I started the divorce process, I thought it was so obvious that my husband was a con artist who had intentionally stolen my money that the judge would see it right away and order him to pay me back, and I would be made whole. Nope. This is court, where judgment is rendered only after a formal process of reviewing the evidence. I suppose it's a good thing because we all deserve a chance to make our cases. But still, this was a shock to my system, especially because my attorney and I had to practically do cartwheels to keep my husband informed about the process when he obviously couldn't care less. Here's number 3. Sociopaths lie, including on court documents. My complaint for divorce was a litany of Montgomery's deceitful and exploitative behavior, and he denied all of it, except for the fact that he had fathered a child with another woman. He might have denied that too, except I had the birth certificate. In his counter-complaint, he accused me of abuse, including that I was violent towards him and I destroyed his property. I was shocked. I have never been violent towards anyone or anything in my life. But sociopaths are pathological liars, and they lie even in court. Here's number 4. Documentation when divorcing a sociopath is critical. Throughout my entire marriage, Montgomery promised that he would repay me for all the money I had spent trying to help him launch his businesses. So I tracked the expenses as we went along. I used Quicken for my business accounting, so it was easy. On August 16th, 1998, during one of our frequent arguments about money, I accused him of taking everything I had, and he raged that he would pay me back. I demanded that he put his promise in writing. I was sitting at my desk, so I whipped out a sheet of letterhead, dated it, and scrawled by hand. James Montgomery agrees to repay Donna Andersen for all the expenses she has paid on his behalf, and agrees that he is responsible for all the credit card debt. Montgomery signed it, and this document, written in anger and haste, was the critical proof that he had promised to pay me back. If you have given your spouse money based on his or her promises to pay you back, you must have this documented in writing. If you don't, it will be very difficult to collect any money. Here's number 5. Court orders mean nothing to a sociopath. My attorney followed all the typical divorce processes. Soon after my complaint was filed, we filed a motion for temporary support. I spent thousands of dollars on this motion, and the judge granted it. Montgomery was ordered to pay me about $800 a month while the divorce was underway. He never paid a dime. Here's number 6. Sociopaths feel no obligation to comply with court requirements. My husband was supposed to complete an official court form to disclose his income and expenditures. When he turned the form in, it was totally blank. Finally, my husband fired his attorney, said he was representing himself, and then never showed up for the trial. Here's number 7. When divorcing a sociopath, it helps to prove a pattern of conduct. I was not my husband's only victim. After I left Montgomery, I started looking through all the documents that he had left in my home. I had previously avoided them out of respect for his privacy. Well, I discovered that before and during our marriage, he'd been involved with 20 or 30 other women. Many of them were asking for their money back. 3 of these women, plus the parents of his wife before me, who died, testified at my divorce. The money Montgomery took from the 5 of us totaled more than $1 million. The testimony of the other women convinced the judge that my marriage wasn't just a relationship gone bad, but that Montgomery had intentionally scammed me. In legal jargon, we had proved a pattern of conduct. The judge awarded me all the money that Montgomery took from me, which was $227,000, plus $1 million in punitive damages. Well, here's number 8. The court doesn't help you collect your money. The judge signed an order stating that Montgomery owed me more than $1.2 million and was responsible for all the credit card debt. Once he signed the order, the judge was finished with the case. The court had issued a judgment against Montgomery. He was ordered to pay me, but surprise, surprise, he didn't. So now what? Well, I was now a judgment creditor, and Montgomery was a judgment debtor. That meant that I had to follow all the regular laws about debt collection. In fact, to go after him, I'd need to hire a collections attorney. Oh, and although the judge had said Montgomery was responsible for my credit card debt, the credit card companies didn't care. My name was on the card. They were not party to the divorce, so I was supposed to pay up. Here's number 9. Get everything you need during the discovery phase of divorcing a sociopath. I was convinced that Montgomery had hidden money somewhere. He'd swindled women out of more than $1 million over 8 or 9 years. I couldn't imagine that it was all gone. Well, looking over my divorce records after the trial, I discovered that we never received some of the bank records that we had subpoenaed previously. Records that might show where his money was. I asked my lawyer to get the records. She wouldn't do it. The period of time between filing the complaint for divorce and the actual trial is called the discovery phase. During this period of time, information such as bank statements, correspondence, and other records can be subpoenaed. But once discovery closes, you can no longer subpoena the records. Therefore, it is very important to get every document you may need during discovery, because after the trial, it's too late. And finally, here's number 10. Judgment debtors can avoid payment by declaring bankruptcy. As I started searching for my money, I talked to a high-powered international collections attorney who gave me terrible news. All my ex-husband had to do to avoid paying me was to declare bankruptcy. Court judgments can be discharged through bankruptcy, except in cases of fraud. Now, I had claimed in my divorce that my ex defrauded me. However, the divorce decree did not include a statement of fraud. Therefore, I had to go back into court to have my divorce decree modified to include the judge's findings of fraud, which cost me more money. After that, I conducted an international search for Montgomery's money, but in the end, I found nothing. All I collected from him was $517. Still, because the court had found him guilty of fraud, I am able to tell you exactly what happened. By the way, after hearing the divorce horror stories of so many love fraud readers, I realized that my divorce was one of the easy ones. If you are divorcing a sociopath, you really need to know what you're up against. Love Fraud's webinars can help you. I recommend that you check them out. Or if you want to talk about your situation, including divorce, I do offer personal consultations. I can explain what you're dealing with and offer you practical advice. To learn more, visit lovefraud.com and click the link for Talk to Donna. See you later.